Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah. Today we're going to discuss on the effect of conditioning, continuation in our chapter 4 of Holistic Human Behavior of our book, Positive Islamic Psychology, a Transcendent Model to Achieve Peace, Happiness and Success in the 21st Century. So this is on chapter 4. There's a lot of material that you go in terms of psychology that we are discussing in terms of major or meta issues. So today I'm going to discuss about how conditioning affects the natural way of life, whether it is animal nature, whether it's human nature. What is animal nature, what is human nature from the perspective of psychology? Alright, because a lot of people say, oh, we are animals. Are we animals or we are more than animals? So if we understand this, then we can actually understand how to condition ourselves, because the behavioral model of conditioning is based on animal model. Remember that. Behavioral psychology is basically conditioning based on animal model. That's why Professor Muhammad Madi Jenkins, he came up with this model where we include inner speech, the reflective conscious thoughts of awareness, perception at a human level. Alright, so I just read some paragraph here. That which is in harmony with the natural law at the animal level is not necessarily in harmony with the natural law at the human level. That is very true. For example, like if we talk about the animal, it is instinctive for themselves, but they have a certain level. For example, if an animal, say a lion, it kills its prey, once it got its prey, it will not eat for a couple of days. For example, a python, once it gets its prey, to digest its prey may take 10 days or 20 days, they don't eat. Alright, the same thing with all animals. In the animal world, it's instinctive. When they are satiated, they don't go beyond that. But human being can be worse than animal. That's why in the Al-Quran, Allah tells us He has created the best of being, the best of form. لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ ثُمَّ رَدَدْنَاهُ أَسْفَلَ سَافِلِينَ. We can go even lower than the animals, worse than the worst. This is where you got to do with two major issues, that is greed and lust, which we will discuss. But if you look at human being, we are full already, we eat. But what we do? We eat. And we eat and we eat. We keep on eating until we become obese. So now obesity is a major problem throughout the developed world. So we have two categories of people. People who are dying of hunger, the refugees, those in sub-Sahara, those in the South Asian continent, they're hungry. But in the West, in the developed countries, they are satiated, full, the stomach is full, but it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger of the nafs, the desire to eat more, and in the end they become obese and they die of obesity, they die of heart attack, they die of diabetes, they die of so many other lifestyle disease because of greed of eating. Just one aspect. So this is where we have descended even below the animal nature. So if to ascend, we have to know what is our true position in terms of our nature as a human being. Our bodies and many structures of our brain are attempting to fulfill our original function and live in accordance with nature order at the animal level. This causes great difficulties because for human species to survive and progress, we must transcend those aspects of our life bound up by animal nature and express fully our civilized human nature. So what is a civilized human nature? This is where we have to define in this 21st century, because if not, then we become an uncivilized 21st century. So we can say that part of every human being is acting in accordance with the animal nature, and part is according with the human nature. As I said, the conflict between animal nature and human nature is a great difficulty faced by human species. Consequently, we have to experience that conflict. So we have the conflict of our life, whether we want to follow a hedonistic greed, human nature, or a more conscious, self-reflective human nature. We have all those two different influences acting upon us that affects our conditioning in terms of where we live. It would be a difficult period even in the best of circumstances. But the third influence of evil global conditioning is greed and lust, is greatly increasing the difficulties of making this transition. So what is this global 21st century? Greed and lust. The evil conditioning of greed and lust is greatly increasing the difficulties of making the transition. This third influence has increased the difficulty so much that we no longer are certain that the transition will be made successfully. So we are not sure whether this 21st century will be the last civilizational stand for human civilization, we will self-destroy ourselves, or we would then go into the 22nd century that is more in line with our intrinsic holistic human behavior and human nature. The conflict between the animal nature and the human nature may be so severe as to bring destruction on all life on this planet. So this is where, at many levels, at the spiritual level, we know we have thrown away spirituality, we have thrown away the belief in the Creator, in God, and we have adopted the mechanistic model of atheism, so-called scientific atheism, which is then we become proud, we become arrogant. We do not submit to the one who created all this universe, whereas this earth is not even a teeny weeny puny atom in the physical world. Yet we act so arrogantly that as if we are the master of the universe. So this is where we do things that destroy ourselves. So at the physical level, we know we are destroying ourselves. We are destroying our planet. We are putting so much CO2. We are eating more. We are throwing plastic into the ocean. We are killing all the species who are existing on this earth, whether it's the bird species, the animal species, even the bees are dying. So when all these start dying, we will die, because who are going to pollinate our food source if not for the bees? So we are all interconnected, but because of greed, we are having this problem. And the second one is lust, especially insofar as this exposure towards excessive sexual images through pornography, through video games, through all kind of evil conditioning that we are facing. So we are destroying the very basis of our existence on this earth. How long we're going to last? Many of the, for example, like say those climatologists saying, we only have 20 years to correct ourselves. If not, the runaway climate change will be so severe that maybe 3 to 5 billion human beings will die within the next 50 years. That is not far away. Some of you may be alive, or maybe you just be part of the mess of climate refugees. Countries will sink underwater. Bangladesh will disappear, and so on. So many of these things are our own hands. So Allah tells us in the Quran, it is your own hands that create this destructive. Why? Because we have descended even below the human, not only that we have descended, we are human beings, but we have descended at the animal level, we have descended even below the animal level as a result of two issues, greed and lust. So that's why within the perspective of the spirituality of Islam, not only Islam, you have in Christianity, in Buddhism, in Hinduism, and many of the other religious ideas, these are the two evils that is going to destroy ourselves, destroy our family, destroy our society, and destroy the world. So understanding that there are both positive conditioning and negative conditioning, understanding that there are both intrinsic human nature and intrinsic animal nature, and how we are going to go upward. Now remember, I have given you in the past of the 4 levels. At the lowest level is an-nafsul shahwaniyah. It's all animal sex, lust. At another level is an-nafsul ammara bisuk. It is evil, greedy, and self-destructive. At another level is an-nafsul lawamah, the nafs that is now searching for its existence, its meaning, its purpose in life. And then we transcend al-nafsul mutmainnah, and at that level we get the gift in this world of the gift of joy, the gift of love from Allah, the gift of mercy, the gift of forgiveness, the gift of peace and tranquility, as Allah tells us in the Quran, Ya ayatuhan nafsul mutmainnah irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatan mardiyah fadkhulil fil ibad wadkhulil jannah. That would be our goal, that in this world we feel the peace, the tranquility, the love and the grace of Allah, and we feel so happy, so good to be a true and sincere servant of Allah, striving always to make ourselves good, helping others to be good, making the world good as a Caliph of Allah on this earth, inshallah.